And let's jump right in. Ruben, do you want to go first?
Um, I mean, I'm happy to, but I'm dying to hear what you have to say. I've been waiting to hear you talk about this. I knew you were going to talk about it, and so
Okay.
whatever you want. But I'm like, I'm so grateful that we have one room because I really want to see this.
Well, then I'll fire this up and show you. Not everybody raised their hand, or some people want like the first couple minutes on like all the cool stuff it does, or a little refresher.
Sure.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay.
This
Uh,
is new to me.
okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't use it off. I've used it a while ago. I haven't used it in a while because it's
You.
should be using it more, but I let other
Th
people use it for me.
this is gonna be like your new favorite thing.
because
And so it's a little bit different. Let me share my screen. And so it's not like all the other platforms that you're in. It was built as a as a research tool. It's not like another Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini, right? I'm going to call up one. They did one about themselves here. And I'm not sure I have it in here. It's one of mine. It's a stock one. And so it was started as a research tool. Now it's powered by AI underneath. And here's one of the really great things. Like you ever use AI and you ask it this stuff and it starts and you tell it and you upload some stuff, right? And you go, give me some answers about this, like this thing we're talking about, like this website, these couple files. And when you ask it questions, it just starts bringing out stuff from everywhere, like all its trillions of things it was trained on. Well, this thing gives you answers from essentially just the topics that you put into it. So how great is that? I'm going to give you, let me see. Um, if I have one that has a bunch of sources in here.
Greg, can you clarify one thing? Are the notebooks, the information in the notebook separate? Or when you say, when you're asking Notebook LM to produce something, is it only looking in a specific notebook or just your whole
It's looking at
account?
a specific notebook.
Okay.
And some of these are very focused, right? That I'm doing. This one has two sources. You can have like 50 sources. I'm going to find one.
so you created these?
I created all of these. So we'll go
All
into
of them?
one and we'll show you something that has like a lot of sources. Okay. Um, and this is like a generic copy. So it's one of the things that's gonna come out in my content calendar, right? It's a big thing in the world, like how to tell if something is real or AI. So imagine that as our case for this exercise, right? And so this is set up. So I put the link in there. It's notebooklm.google.com. So to level set that, it is from the Google silo, instead of like OpenAI, which is ChatGPT. And a lot of people don't even know like just how many AI products Google has, probably 15 at least. Gemini is sort of their chatbot. This one is sort of the research tool. Is created by an elite team out of Google. Nobody asked them to do it. They came up with this idea and it's taken off like wildfire, only getting better year on year. So you can see here that this just looks, the middle part looks like our little chat area, right? Where we ask questions. You can ask questions about your topic. Now, how do you know what you're talking about? You add sources. So we go in here. I have a whole bunch in here, variety of things. And so you can do a bunch of things. And this is even new here. If you have a topic, it can search the web for stuff to help you find it. But if you had things that you wanted it to look at, and this is really good for refining your own stuff or doing broad research. But look at all these things: PDFs, docs, graphics, videos, images. You can put all kinds of stuff up there. You can put a website up there. You can put YouTube videos up there. You can go back to sources. You can, here's where they are tied into Google, right? Go over to your Google Drive, or you could just paste in some text. And so, for example, I was doing this stuff about how to tell if it's real or AI. And so I found all these sources. So we could just go, and it brings all these in. So we'll stay here for just a second and maybe we'll go do a fresh one, right? And then it brings this over. It sort of distilled that one thing into this paragraph, right? And if you could actually look onto each one of these sources, and it will distill that whole source into a paragraph. And so the thing is that it talks about just this. So you could ask questions about just this, like, do you LinkedIn? You're on LinkedIn, Evan. You know this little CR that it puts on AI images.
Uh-huh.
Well, this is what does it. This content credentials place. So we could say, what is the CR added to AI images? Now, you actually have to know a little bit about this to ask this, but you could just ask it basic questions.
What does CR stand for?
Well, it
Hmm.
it's
Content real?
yeah, that's a good question. Let's ask it. So if you've seen this, and if you made something, say you made something in Gemini or ChatGPT images, and then you were going to put it on LinkedIn, it will add a CR
Content credentials. There you
content.
go.
I don't know why they call it an R. So it what they're doing as an industry is trying to identify images that were created or modified by AI or post. So that's an
Yeah,
idea.
but they're still not, because if you put it into Canva and you just add your logo, it's now considered
They
they
can
don't
track
consider.
that.
Well, maybe they weren't doing it before. I'm sure they're going to get better and better at this, but I'm like,
Yeah, they can track that history.
okay.
There's traces in there.
Well, wait a
There
minute. If you just take an image in Canva and don't add anything to it, they're
Yeah,
going to
they won't let
reject
you.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, you
yeah,
have to add something to it.
yeah. I'll give you another idea. So a lot of this stuff was working on my own stuff, for some clients, right? But here's one. It was from last summer, and this is sort of like how it was sort of meant to be, like as a research tool. Now, I want you to think about it as a research tool to learn something, but more importantly, I want to think about it as a content creation tool, because this right side over here, the studio, is where the magic happens. So this was the thing from Trump. It was America's action plan. So I had it soak this in. And then over here's the magic. We'll get to the slides here very soon. But so imagine being able to click one time and making a podcast.
Oh,
This
that's
sounds amazing.
interesting. I did not know that that's how you use this.
Click one time and
Cool.
make a video. Click one time and get a map. Click one time and get a briefing doc or a study guide or a blog post about this thing. And I did this. I'm like, I made a blog post about America's AI action plan last summer. You can figure out all these other things about it with one click. An
Can I
info.
ask you a question,
Yeah,
Greg? So I created a podcast by uploading two marketing brochures that I had created. And the podcast that was produced was better than any testimonial that I could have asked anybody to write.
it's insane for this
So
tool. Yeah.
my question is, number one, it was too long. It was like 12 minutes. Can I then take that, what's produced, that MP3 file, and feed it back into the notebook and ask for a shorter podcast?
Good question. That one's the one that's been around for a couple of years, and I'm going to get to that in a second. Or
And
we'll
the
do it.
second question is it
Okay.
ethical to use these podcasts in your marketing materials? You have to identify them as AI generated, right?
Good question. People use it all the time. That's what they built it for people to use. I often will do a declaration, and I'm all for the transparency, right? I'm like, here's a podcast that I use an AI tool to generate. It's got tons of value. Please have a listen. To your point, you didn't have these little edit pencils before, and that's part of the one that they added for the slide deck. So those cool infographics that you're seeing everywhere, they make them in here. Data tables is new. It makes a quiz. Say you want to make FAQs for your website to help get found and help your customers and get found in AI SEO. Right in here.
I could take the mind map and build that for my developers on
It's
a
so
customer
great.
journey, for which I've been doing manually, not knowing I could just.
So then you
man,
put like your site, or if you have a whole bunch of stuff, your site. So
yeah.
let's get back to.
Well,
Yeah.
how is it? Is it safe? Like, is it the same as ChatGPT? Is this now out for public knowledge, or the black?
I think in general, do not put anything out there that's proprietary. This is Google, which means they take everything. So, asterisk, word of caution, do not put privileged, supposedly secret IP almost in any AI unless you're like gated and you're running it on your own like private server and you've got all the stuff locked down. Now let's get to Lynn's question.
How do you save
So
information?
we'll get to that. So if you ask it a question, you can just copy the answer right down and put it into text. These are the ones you really want to save. And so when you click them, they start stacking up over here. So you see how these are like the buttons to generate something. Well, this is the stack of things I generated for this thing, right? So this is like America's plan. So then you can actually see different things, and you look for the icon, right? So the audio is that one. Your mind map is this one, since Evan talked about it. We could go into the mind map, which is already created, right? And this is how you look at it. And so this is like, okay, here's the action plan. And it frankly, I know this one, and this is probably a good example. This plan had 4 pillars, and look what it did. It broke it out, right? So in the introduction, it was the executive order. It was all about, being a global leader in AI. Then in pillar 1, talked about all this stuff, right? Was innovation. Then pillar 2, and look at that. You only put like a link in here and pressed one button and you have all this, right? And each one of these goes down, right?
So Greg, if you wanted to share this, I mean, this is a special program to have that open and close.
Yeah.
Can you like share it without them getting into your system?
This one is probably the poorest example of downloading and sharing that there is. I just downloaded it.
That's okay.
So it's a PNG, so it must
Yeah.
just show it all opened up then.
It's been a while since I opened one, and it might show just this look.
Yeah, it's probably just going to be what you
It's
saw.
just a
Yeah.
screenshot, isn't it? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, exactly. PNG isn't much. It really gets to the point of why like the whole slide things was made editable. I'm going to go back again. So you close up here, you close, right? Close. And I'm going to answer Lynn's question here, and we're going to definitely give room and time today too. So you wanted control over the previously one-click output and it was pretty good, but it was too long, right? Or, right? So now when you go back into your old one, and these choices will be here again. And so if you do the pencil, like the edit, right? Now,
Right.
guess what? Brief
Ah,
or critique, or you can make
Holy
the two hosts
mackerel.
debate,
huh.
or you can then get down into here, whether you want longer or shorter. English, I mean, crazy languages, right? And
Okay,
then
question.
and this was in here before, and this is in a lot of them. I'll get to your question once I finish this point. You get a box here, and then you can like try to guide it, and then you're still pushing a button and it's doing what it does, right? But these are some of the big things that they gave us. But then you would say, like, I would say for this example, I'm like, well, focus on how they are going to put, um, guardrails and data security protocols on American AI companies in that podcast. Out of all that stuff, remember all those 3 pillars, you could tell it what to focus on, like right here, like only cover about Italy, or talk about the main character, or talk to a certain audience, right? You could say, make this for 10th grader or 10-year-old or 5-year-old or grandma. So does that answer your thing, Lynn? Do you want to go back in there
Yes, yeah, I hadn't
and
seen this editing feature
then
before.
regenerate? And this is another point. You can have multiple versions. Like, look at this. I have study guides time. I have multiple versions of some of these, right? FAQs. So sometimes you make one, it's not perfect. Now, let's get to the topic today, and that you guys got a grasp on this, right? It's the slide deck. So now I put all my stuff in, and like some of my other ones, like this is my new launch, right? I've asked you guys to join it. Many of you have. My AI for 50 plus, training and community. And so I use it to generate stuff over here. Let's see if I did a slide deck. So remember, you're matching. That's the slide deck icon. And I've done a bunch. And I'm going to go down to my slide deck. And then you can see what it's made. Now imagine, here we are. I put in one topic. This is my website. And it made this slide deck from my
Beautiful.
website.
Wow.
And so we can page through it.
Did it come up with the experience is the new algorithm, or did you give it that?
I don't think that's a word on my page.
This is better than Gamma.
It's way better than Gamma.
And I took a break from this saying AI is going to make it better, but I didn't know it was going to be this good.
This is sick.
Wow.
What format is it coming out? Is it a PowerPoint format or
So
what?
that's brand new. It used to be you could only just download it kind of statically, like a bunch of images.
And you can't edit it, or now you can edit
Now
them?
you can. So this one is actually on my site, right? This guy Chuck, I had a thing in here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a glider. That's like not an airplane.
So you can upload this to Canva and tweak it and do whatever
You
you
could
want.
do something. It actually so I just want to see. So here we are. Now I have a 15
Wow.
page deck, calls to actions, right?
Wow.
Can you tell it to do a
Well, that
three-page
looks,
deck?
I
or
like your look,
50
Greg.
page?
Look at that.
Well, that's really supposed to be Oz.
Oh, okay.
Do you guys know Oz?
It
There's
doesn't look
you.
like Oz either.
There's you on the right.
Oh, that's me. What happened
Wow.
to my mustache?
This
Okay.
one's so good up till this slide.
So
But you can put in the pictures from the people.
I think you might. So we could go super long here, and I don't want to give. We've finished with this one. So let's get to first of all how you download it, right? So on the 3 dots up here, you guys can see up here, it's sort of a sloppy
Mm-hmm.
download. I generated this with the old one, but what happens is you now have a chance to come in as PowerPoint. So I forget who asked that. That was the joke
think
we
I
were
did.
laughing about. who was it? Zach. It's like, ooh, too bad they don't have a slideshow presentation in Google. I don't know why it dumps into PPT and not slides, but you can actually just absorb a PPT into slides. So I think it's actually helps a bigger footprint from a technical answer.
Hmm.
What it does,
It looks like it's a PDF though.
no, it drops it in as a PDF,
That's not
and
good.
that's cumbersome, right?
Yeah.
So the new way is to do it as a thing. And now I don't even think I get the editing features because I generated this one before. So we're going to
Okay.
close the X, and I'm going to click on slide deck again. This will be the last thing, and then we'll give some for. And I'm going to click the pen, right? And we're going to say, I want a detailed deck, right? I want a length detailed. And I want to have the
So let's say you have a generic, I don't know, marketing piece, and that's in your notebook. But now you want to tailor it to different specific target markets, whether it's, blue collar, professional, whatever. Because those other things are not in your notebook, you can't do it, correct? You
I
can't
think
tailor it.
that you could add some of that here. And this is
Put
last
it
thing.
all in your sources and
You
then
could you
just
could
direct it saying use this market, use that market. So that's like, any GPT.
Well,
I mean,
what I'm
any,
trying to, what I'm asking, Evan, is how would you include a market in a notebook?
so what he's saying is this, and that's a good answer. So in addition to, like, say, the website, right? So I want to use that website, which has a niche, but say I want to go to professionals like attorneys and CPAs and like that. I could write a different thing like in a Word doc that says, my ideal client is this. And then when
Ah,
it's starting to put this stuff together, it's using
okay.
the website as the source and then an extra qualifier. Remember this other one?
Yeah.
I don't know what this one. I pulled all these sites in. And I think it also happens when you go down here. How to check the content credentials. This is how you review it, right? So I think it also builds in when you build more content in the middle chat window. I think it absorbs that into the studio tools. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So good answers.
Okay, question.
You could also, sorry, I just want to address that real quick. You could also just go into ChatGPT and say, here's the target, or here's my target market. Write me a resource document for NotebookLM that I can just drop into LM, and then you copy it and paste it into NotebookLM, and then it uses it.
Perfect
And you don't
answer.
have to write.
All right. Well, let's give him